love what we do here, please consider backing us on Patreon.
Please delete this video. Have you ever seen me write that on someone else's video on YouTube? I have. I've been doing it quite frequently lately. And why am I doing that? Before we dive into that subject, I do want to talk about our next international cycle of KK episodes real quick. So as I told you, the next one up in order, we have a Ukrainian scene, we have a Turkish scene, German scene, then we have a Scottish scene, and then the headliner is a Greek scene. And the next recap will also be Greek. Now, just to clarify, when I say international scenes, I'm excluding the United States and also Canada. No disrespect to the Canadians, but the U.S. and Canadian scenes are virtually identical. There's no difference. A lot of companies have offices, production companies have offices in both countries. Even like a lot of Lifetime movies are technically Canadian movies that are put in the United States. There's a lot of TV series that were technically Canadian that aired in the United States. So they overlap so closely that they're all in English. You don't know the difference. So that doesn't. We're not running those. With the international scenes. We're based in the U.S. So when we say international, and yes, I am aware that Mexico is part of North America. However, Mexican scenes are obviously much different than American and Canadian scenes. Not just the language difference, but, it's just totally different. So the international scenes we're covering are scenes that were made by other countries, production companies in other countries. We have done Mexican scenes before, and we will be definitely recapping that, and there will be more of those. But so that's what I mean by an international scene. I had somebody in the comments section, they may have been joking. If they were, it was kind of funny. But if not, just to clarify, when I say we're doing a Greek scene, that doesn't mean a scene that takes place in Greece. So an episode of Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, which aired in America, and may have been a Canadian show, actually. I have to look into that. But just because Hercules lived in Greece doesn't mean that's a Greek scene. When I say a Greek scene, I mean a scene produced by a Greek company made for residents of Greece. So when I say international scenes, that's what I'm talking about. Almost all of these will not be in English. Last cycle we had a British scene. This cycle we have a Scottish scene, so those ones will be in English, but most of our international stuff won't be.
You're kidding me.
We've done Australian scenes before, but typically they're not going to be in English. Sometimes, for the next two recaps, there will be subtitles. Me personally, I like to just watch the scene without the subtitles and try and figure out what's going on. Now, if there's a lot of dialogue in scenes, sometimes you'll want to know what was said, and that will come in handy with the next two recaps. But most of these are not going to have subtitles. So, it's about the scene, not necessarily about the dialogue, but you can figure out what's going on, I think. Sometimes they're fun. But so that's what we have coming up, and I'll give you a little spoiler for the third international cycle. The headliner will be a Turkish scene, so a Turkish main event, that should get you excited, because the next cycle, the Turkish scene is the second scene in, and it's not bad. But when you get a main event Turkish scene, we've seen those before. Episode 254.
Değil mi kızlar?
Episode 265.
Evet. Hadi baş baş.
These were 5-star Turkish scenes. The only reason that Saws did not headline the week was because that was the awards week, and I didn't want to influence people's voting decision. But that was the real headliner of the awards cycle. I mean, that was, your 2018 scene of the year, maybe the best scene ever. So, so that's what we got there. Third cycle is a Turkish headliner. And I think after that, I haven't decided yet, but we may just be doing a Turkish cycle after the third international cycle. We may just go right into a full Turkish cycle because I have a ton of Turkish scenes. You guys have been sending them to me. I don't know. It's something to think about. Haven't totally made that final decision, but soap operas is something else I want to do. Wanted to do that for a while. International soap operas is a great opportunity, as well as classic TV. I mentioned that last time. Classic TV would be TV from 70s, 80s, and 90s, not to be confused with like black and white television. You guys have sent me over a lot of those as well. That's probably, that would be like called like Old School Week or Black and White or something like that. We'll eventually do that. We've done a black and white scene before, the Whatever Happened to Baby Jane horror scene, our oldest scene we've ever done here. So we've done that before. But classic TV would be 70s, 80s, and 90s. So on to the topic of this video. Please delete this video or turn this video to private. Why have I done that? Why am I doing that? Why am I writing that on people's videos? Well, before I even dive into that, I want to give a shout out to DID Central, who we all know as The Factory. I think I can give him a shout out here because he managed to do the impossible. He managed to get his DID Central channel deleted within the last several weeks. Why is that the impossible? Well, one thing that has happened over the last 4 months since the pandemic, YouTube has been laying off its humans. So they haven't been giving out strikes for community guidelines. So if you're not getting strikes, it's almost impossible to get your channel deleted. Because they've laid off the humans, so robots have been making mistakes. Yet this factory, he still managed to lose his channel in the midst of the pandemic, which is, I don't know. Hats off to him for pulling off the impossible. But typically, when this isn't going on, YouTube will delete scene uploader channels for one reason or another. Never for copyright, not anymore, but for all different kinds of terms of service and community guidelines violations. So they kind of take out this garbage for me. But right now that's not happening. So there's been a buildup of scene uploaders. And you're asking, why are you telling people to delete their videos? Why are you doing this? Well, because they're damaging my business. I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose. I've talked about this before. I'm not saying there's a malicious intent, but it's happening regardless of whether they want it to or not. It doesn't matter what their intent is. It's the equivalent of you running a business and then all of a sudden people showing up outside of your business giving away their used items of what you're selling right in front of you. You'd be pretty pissed. YouTube is our platform. It's how we make money. It's how we run our business, through advertiser revenue, through content sales, soon to be merchandise sales. That's something else I'll be talking about here in the near future. But this is where we run our business. And some people have written in these comments, when I've said this, they've said, oh, it's not your place to tell them what they can and do. They're trying to build their channel just like you. Time out. No, they're not. That's the problem. These people aren't running YouTube businesses. They're freebooters. They're not in their videos. They are ineligible for a YouTube partnership. They will always be ineligible for a YouTube partnership. This isn't 2016 anymore, okay? Things have changed a lot. Back in the day, you could be a freeboot pirate and make money by uploading stuff you didn't own. You can't do that anymore. These people are not making any money. They're not building a business. They have nothing to lose by removing the videos I ask them to remove. Nothing. So when I say, please remove this video, also the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be running those scenes. So the scenes are going to end up back on YouTube, just on our channel. So the people don't lose anything. In fact, they're going to gain something, because one of the things that these scene freebooters have in common, one of the things that unites them all, is their videos suck. They suck. For them, not only do the edits suck, the recordings suck. The quality of the footage they're using is terrible. It is, at best, half as good as the content we're using, the content that I record. And I'm going to make a whole other video talking about how a KK episode is made, because it's a complicated process. And there's some of you I've been talking to this about through email lately. But the content these people are uploading just sucks. The video quality is nasty, and the edits are bad. It's not a DID. It's a lot of the people doing the recordings are bondage pornographers. They're not people who are legitimate producers of real content. So what they make sucks. And again, the video quality is always the worst part. When we upload this stuff, we upload it top notch. So and I'm not just talking about, there's some recordings, some episodes we've done lately, like episode 259, 264, 267. I did these recordings. I did them on my old laptop. I should have bought a new laptop a lot sooner. In order to do the recordings, I had to disable the hardware accelerator on Google Chrome. When you do that, the frame rate drops. So the fluidity of the scene, how it rolls, kind of has tiny little bumps in it sometimes, especially if there's a lot of movement. Like if you watch episode 267, when the teacher dives across the desk, when there's sudden movement like that, that causes the frame rate to drop. It doesn't affect the resolution quality of the picture, but the way it flows. So some of my recent recordings have not been perfect, although you guys probably wouldn't know that by looking at it. I'm just a nitpicker. Episode 264 and 265 had to be processed on my even older laptop, so the bit rate on those isn't quite as high. Did you guys notice anything? Probably not. But the most recent episodes, and even if you look at episode 275, our last episode from the time I filmed this, there's two different recordings used in that. One of them is the full episode of the show, which I had to record, which was in lower quality, best I could find it. And then a bondage pornographer took the actual full treatment scenes of that episode, and that quality is slightly better. So I had that mixed with my new recording, and so when there wasn't a full treatment scene, the video was in lower quality. When there was full treatment, it was slightly higher. Both were far from HD. So 275 has two different recordings being used. I don't like to do that. A lot of the stuff we have coming up is all in the highest quality possible. It's filmed with a hardware accelerator on. I mean, it's top-notch, full resolution, good quality. So I try and put out the best quality video possible. And this stuff takes a lot of time and energy. Doing the recording, getting full context of the scene, that's something that these people don't do. And if I ask you to get out of the way for us, get out of the way, because you're not losing anything. Again, these people are not making money from the content they don't own. They're never going to be able to make any money from it. It's just a weird hobby thing. I mean, we've inspired a lot of people around here to take up this. However, they've gotten in my way over the years. Now, hopefully soon, YouTube will start getting the humans back out there and start taking these channels out again. Start wiping them out. That'll help us out. You don't understand, I mean, the recommendations, our recommendations have plummeted in the last 6 months. A lot of that had to do with some videos we lost ownership of, or the retroactive age restrictions. I had to delete some stuff. But these scene uploaders, we upload videos that are like 15, 20 minutes long. They upload videos that are like 2 minutes long. So when they do that, if their average watch time on a video is 30 seconds and it's a 2-minute video, well, if we upload a video and it's 15 minutes long and our average watch time is only 1.5 minutes, guess what? The percentage watch time that they have versus their average video length is so much higher than ours. YouTube's going to recommend the videos more. That's how the algorithm works. So we're at a disadvantage trying to work against these people who are stealing traffic from us. And ultimately what happens? Their channel gets deleted. So what's the point? I just don't get it. And so if I ask you to if I step in and say, please remove this, just please remove it. You're not losing anything from doing it. Help us grow this community here. Help our credibility increase. I have people that leave comments like, your channel's criminally underrated. You should have a bigger channel than this. Well, a lot of what's kept us from not exploding has been the amount of competition in our space. Now again, it's not real business competition. They're not really a business. They're not making anything. But it's YouTube space competition, so they're sucking traffic from it. So that's, it damages us, whether they mean to or not. I've asked some people to remove some videos, and they've responded. One person who has multiple videos of scenes we are currently going to be uploading in the next cycle said, I can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah, you can do that. Believe me, you can do it. And I know that because you're not going to lose anything when you do, because you don't have a business. So you could do it. You just don't want to because you're a dickhead. I mean, let's be honest about it. Let's come out and be clear. You like the attention or whatever it is? I don't know. I don't know what these people are getting out of uploading scenes on YouTube. They don't own them. They're not making any money. What are you wasting your time for? And that has a lot to do with it too. They're not really wasting much time because they're not doing anything. It takes me hours and hours to make a KK episode. They take zero time. They just upload some, clip they have. I mean, it's annoying having someone steal from your hard work like that and they're not competition in the sense they're running a business. If they were running a legitimate business, if they had their own thing they were doing, I wouldn't say a word. I would respect it. Now they can go ahead and try. People have tried before. They get their channels terminated. They don't know what they're doing, so whatever. But that's kind of where this is at. So if I ask you to remove a video, please remove it. And look forward to the next cycles because they are awesome. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.